Well, Sam, thank you so much for being here with me on the Entrepreneurial Success Podcast. Like I said, you and I have had so many numerous great conversations. I'm just glad that this one we're getting to record and we're getting to share it with everyone. Before we dive in, why don't I hand over to you so you can tell the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, I'm Sam Starr, and I'm a transpersonal psychologist. So I'm a psychologist that focuses on things that are beyond the personal, beyond the personal story, perhaps dealing with potential and higher potential. So I support that using the tarot and the symbolism of the tarot and working with the synchronicities and the archetypes of the tarot. And so anyone who has an interest in the tarot and working with it psychologically as an entrepreneur, this is, basically what I do.
I know, and I'm really excited to have this conversation because I know as soon as you say tarot, some people would go like, "What? What's that?" And other people might go, "Hold on, I've heard of that before." So I know we're stirring a little bit of curiosity, and we'll dive into that. But before we do, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your story, how you got onto this journey, and where that's taken you to now.
Yeah, well, I definitely am an entrepreneur at heart. My dad was a very successful businessman. So when I was young, I was like, I just want to be just like my dad. And I always knew I wanted to run my own company. I didn't know that was going to be with my now ex-husband for 15 years, but yeah, we started a business together and it became a UK market leader. Removals and storage, nothing exciting, but it started from our spare room in our flat in Kilburn and it became, yeah, massive. But it was killing me inside, really. After 15 years, I knew that it wasn't for me. Um, and so we agreed to go our separate ways. We got divorced, and I sold my shares. And then I was like, "Well, who am I? I don't even know who I am. I know that I want to be of service, and I know that I have experience as a business owner and someone who has grown something from nothing. And how can I serve people? How can I serve people? And I studied transpersonal psychology at university called psychosynthesis. That's the name of the psychology. And oh gosh, that's just been the best thing I've ever done for myself. So, studied as a master's the psychosynthesis, and chose for my thesis work to explore how tarot cards, working with symbolism, archetypes, abstract, can access these other resources that we have available to us as a human, resources that perhaps we don't spend enough time with. We don't even know we have, first of all. Secondly, once we know that we have a resource that we can access that helps us with decision making and guidance, how do we do it? um, and so like, opening humans up to this basically birthright that we have to access great mystery, the superconscious, the sense of being supported and guided and part of a greater whole. That has just become something that I love to share. And also love to share it with entrepreneurs because that's how I identify.
Yeah. And I love that story because I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs, actually, let's just say for a lot of people, we don't just have to be entrepreneurs. We always feel that there must be something bigger and better out there for us, some kind of guidance. Now, I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about, you know, energy, because that's what it is, right? Everything is energy in life. So, if it's okay with you, let's dive into this because, like I said, a lot of people are sitting here possibly very curious. Tell us a little bit about what tarot is. If you can just explain that in simple form so everybody can get it. And I know you've got some tarot cards there with you as well.
Yes, I do. So the tarot is a deck of cards. There are 78 cards in a tarot deck, and it started its life as a simple deck of cards that you play trumps with. So it has four suits, ace to king, and it has another section as well, which is also numbered. So, if you want to play the cards with tarot, you can. It's a numbered card game. But in the 18th century, um, ideas about how we can access wisdom, esoteric ideas, um, opened up the idea of being able to ask a question of the deck of cards of the tarot to get a reply. And there's a bit of mystery shrouding the where the tarot comes from. Yes, it's a simple deck of playing cards. Yes, you can ask it questions, and it seems to reply. Is it embedded in ancient Egyptian wisdom? Possibly. Some of the artists who have interpreted how they would like to represent each of the meanings of the cards on the actual card so that when you turn the card, you experience the meaning. There have been countless artistic interpretations, and the most famous is the one that I use. That's by a female artist called Pamela Coleman Smith. And she did take inspiration from the ancient Egyptian teachings, which are the European ancestral teachings. The Egyptians came before the Greeks wrote things down, and so on and so forth, the myths and etc. So if we're wanting to trace our ancestral heritage through the European line of what it means to be human, then it's all embedded in the tarot. So for that reason, if you ask a question of the tarot, then the card will reply. It has a pictorial image on it that will resonate at some level. It's a deck of 78 cards that basically explore what it means to be human. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why
Oh,
it's relatable. That's why it feels magical, because there's always something to be gained from the experience.
yeah. And I think that's the beauty of it as well, because, for so many of us, we know that there's answers out there, but we don't always know how to get those answers,
Yes.
whether it's instinctive, whether it's a download from the universe, whatever you want to call it. But I think the tarot is just one of those entities that is physically in front of us to see and to observe and to
Yeah.
experience, I guess.
Yeah. It's an access point into that for discovering an answer within.
Yeah. So, how can it be used then by coaches and therapists? And I know for other entrepreneurs as well, but you specifically focus to work with coaches and therapists. So, how can tarot then be used with them?
Yeah. Well, coaches and therapists will already be on a journey of self-development in order to be of service to others. So, and many coaches and therapists are already turning cards secretly, but they're doing it intuitively. They may not be using tarot cards, so they may be using oracle cards, which is basically a deck of cards without the structure of the ace to king that I talked about. Um, they may not really know why, but they're drawn to accessing that inner resource through the experience of suspending their disbelief, asking a question, tuning in, and taking a card to get guidance. It's the tuning in piece. So coaches and therapists have to be able to tune in to get out of their own way so they can be fully present to the person that they're in service of, the client. So it's already a tuning in, grounding practice that's happening for coaches and therapists. So yes, they're probably pulling cards for themselves already, or have some sort of grounding mindfulness practice that's essential to their work. And they may well be curious, can I use this in a coaching therapeutic context? And of course, yes, under some parameters with the correct training, it is possible to do that as well. That's how I work.
Yeah. And I love that you shared that, because I know for me as a coach personally, and this is only what I can share from my own experience, is when I work with my clients, I am so tuned in at the moment. I don't use tarot cards or any cards, but I do know that I'm very much tuned in at that moment in time. And when I work with my clients, I get a lot of downloads. And I do believe that's by being connected with the universe, with that energy, getting those downloads, getting those ideas. supporting my clients further during that session. So I'm very much intrigued with how the tarot obviously can support that, or at least take that one step further. But I am agreement with you there, because it's very much about being in tuned at that moment in time and being in alignment.
Yes, that's right. And how do we do that? Well, we have to know ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, we could be triggered by something that our client says, or something where we think, oh, we know the answer to that. Where we're coming from a place of thinking we know best, right? Whereas the coaching therapeutic space is a space to get out of the way of your own story
Yeah.
as best you can, to be able to therefore be in receipt of those intuitive downloads and aligned and connected to the needs of your client. So yeah, and what an amazing way to be. I mean, it's one of the gifts I find of being a coach, is having the capacity to do that. And it's a long journey being a good coach, good therapist. You have to have done a lot of work on yourself. You have to be committed to the ongoing self-development practice.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
no supports it.
So, for not just coaches and therapists, for entrepreneurs, though, what do you find is the biggest benefits in using tarot cards for themselves?
Most entrepreneurs will already know the answers of why their business is stuck, why they are not getting the clients that they want. That they know, but they don't know like they want, right? I mean, they'll spend lots of money on a business coach who can give them preset ideas of, if you do it this way, it should work. Absolutely. There are wonderful ways to, I guess, financially boost your business by using a coach, different kinds of coaches. This type of coaching is about saying, let's ask you as the business owner, the entrepreneur, where you're at, because that's probably where your business is pointed, right? Your business is going to be pointed in a particular direction based on you at the helm. So let's get and take this back to you. And if it's a question about the business, or if it's a question about a staff member, or a potential contract or whatever, right in that question is the business owner. And whatever that may be, a self-limiting belief, or a relational pattern that keeps happening for them, or just something that feels misaligned with what they really want. It could be all manner of things, but you just come back to the golden nugget, which is the the reason why, the reason why you're doing this, the reason why you began, the reason why you want to run this business. That's at the core. And so
Yeah.
the tarot gets right there.
Oh my gosh, I've got another question for you, because as you were talking about it, I think one of the things that I'm going to make a statement first. One of the things that I know a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with in particular is that they are always asking the question, how do I do this? How do I get this? What are the next steps that I need to take forward? And I do know this from experience that every single time we know what that answer is. We just can't always pinpoint it. And I think this is what you are saying here as well. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what you're saying is the tarot will guide you so that you find that answer within yourself, because you do know what that answer is. You just can't pinpoint it at that moment in time,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. There are so many so the tarot might say, or the tarot might connect you to the fact that you know that you need a business coach. The
Yeah.
tarot might connect you to the fact that you know you need a break.
Yeah.
The tarot might connect you to all manner of different things, but you already know it. So it's like it's affirming and validating something that you probably need to hear from an external. And
Yes.
yeah, it's just it's like that, isn't it? And also because of way that we work with synchronicity. That is, we ask a question and we trust that the card that is turned is the meaningful card. Because we're working with synchronicity, we're also engaging in trusting that there is a power greater than us that is that we're engaging in that moment.
Yeah.
So we are inviting higher power energy into the room. And so it connects that, it resonates with, I mean, that's what I hope. My hope is that it resonates at that level with the querent, with the client, so that they're able to feel it resonating at that higher self place within.
Yeah. And I think this is also why your clients will come to you then with an open mind. So, why, not why, but what do clients come to you with? What are some of their problems or their queries that they come to you with, and how do you help them?
Yeah. It's so for the most part, newly qualified, people who are going through transition, who want to continue to feel like they're on the right path without and navigate changes in their lives, changes in their financial or employment, in order to open up to something new, something that feels really aligned and important,
Yeah.
uh, which requires some navigating. So transitions. I have my coaching offering is actually a CPD offering. So coaches and therapists, they need to sign up to roughly 50 hours of CPD every year, continuing professional development. And what I offer is a space over 6 sessions, 6 hours, where you can explore your own presence, and by exploring whatever question you want and being in that depth space and that receiving and that opening space. So, yes, getting answers to whatever question you want to bring, and have a professional experience of depth coaching. So,
Yes.
language that I'm using, the way that I'm starting sessions through meditation, connection, the way that I'm mirroring and holding vulnerable, tender experiences in a professional way. Also complex, confusing experiences that seem to be at loggerheads with one another, like complexity as well. So that experience in those 6 sessions is, yes, one of a personal nature, bringing your
Yeah.
own personal questions, and you're able as a professional to get your CPD hours around not only self-reflection CPD hours, but language and holding at depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can really improve your own professional experience holding space for other people.
Yeah. And I do agree with that because, like I say, it's that self-development that we all go through, which then we can take and then implement back into our business. So I think a lot of people think about it the other way around. It's like you're running a business, so you're always there running a business, but then you put yourself second. Well, actually, it's the other way around. You've got to put yourself first and then your business second, because it's your development, but also your development feeds back not just to your business, but also to your clients and your customers.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes that means reviewing where you've got to, because you may have gone so far and you may be feeling like, oh, is this sparking my joy?
Mm.
Don't know. And if it's not sparking your joy, then that's not why you started the business, is it? So that whole review process, it's important. It's really important to, yeah, connect to that.
Now, you mentioned earlier that we could possibly show the audience a little bit about you possibly pulling a card for me. Is that something that you want to do live here?
Yeah.
Shall we give it a go?
No, Henriette. So, right. how much time have we got? Like a few minutes, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got time. Go for it.
Time, okay. So is there a question that you would like to ask? Is there some guidance or some support that you would like around a particular subject? Or would you like me to just pull a card and we can talk through live what it might mean to you?
I would love for you just to pull a card and
Yeah.
just let's just talk it through, because if you ask me a question, I've got a million. So let's just pull a card and just see what it brings.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's have a look. So, okay. So we've got the Temperance card here.
Okay.
And the light's not very good. I want to get that light. So this card, what do you see when you tell me words, objects, things that you see when you see this card?
Okay. I see somebody who's very strong, who is a higher entity, um, very intelligent. And I guess with the wings, it makes me think like freedom.
Yeah, there's a freedom about this character, this intelligent, strong character. And they and like a higher entity, you said, yeah, it may reflect an aspect of self that is connected both to the earth and the sky. I mean, they have their feet in the water, on the ground, so they're connected to the creative flow, emotional flow of life whilst feeling grounded. They have two cups and they're pouring something from one side to the other. So it's holding two things at the same time in flow.
Mm.
This card can represent balance and harmony and divine timing. And often the holding of both the hard, difficult, complex, and easy flow at the same time. Because, of course, we're not aiming to ever arrive somewhere as humans. Arriving is being able to hold complexity at the same time.
Yeah.
So this is the balance that is the invitation with this card. So, is there something in your life, Henrietta, that you feel sometimes, or perhaps given that we pulled this card now, that you have integrated and understood as it's all of the above? It's not this is not the card of perfection, this is the card of integration.
Yeah. Honestly, now that you mentioned that, the balance is a big one for me. Recently, I've been very busy, lots going on, and to a great success where those projects are now done. And I'm working towards another project, but a part of me is also thinking, you need to take a little bit of time out. So, funny enough, just yesterday, I thought, oh, I haven't actually picked up a book and read for a while and just sat
Mm.
on the sofa and read. So, as of yesterday, funny enough, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give myself some time during the day, even if it's just an hour, just to sit on the sofa and read a book. And it's not a business book, it's just, pure fiction, but just to unwind and relax and keep that balance, even though I'm still working towards this next new project, but I'm doing it with a lot more calm and ease. So I
Yeah,
love that you're bringing that in there as well.
that's important. That is really important. That is the balance, and
Yeah.
it can be very connected to creativity. Meaning when you're accessing abstract ideas through reading fiction or a novel, um, we're using a different type part of our
Yes.
brain, and it's so important to be able to be with that part of the brain, the abstract, the yeah, the bringing ideas into form.
Yeah.
rather than right, go, 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 go. So it's a very feminine energy that needs that balance with the masculine. So
Exactly.
yeah, that sounds really positive. And this is a very positive card. It is pretty much saying that things are going well.
Love hearing that. But it is interesting because, even though I didn't have a question, part of me was still like, am I doing the right thing by just letting go a little bit, still knowing that I've got that project coming up? Maybe I should just be a little bit more focused on the project, which I know I am. But it's like you said, we all have that answer deep inside of us. We're just questioning the answer.
That's right. Well, and it may be obviously there's an appropriate timing to sitting down and getting
Yeah,
focused. But it may not be right now. It may be that something else is needed, some time to fill up your cup
that
before
is very true.
moving forwards. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so balancing those two types of energy, we have to have the both. We have to
We
have.
do. We do. And it is so powerful. And even though for the audience here, if you guys are listening to this, and even if that card maybe even, resonated with you a little bit, it is so important just to tune into yourself and just understand what is it that you actually need. And I do feel that balance is, so important for everything that we do. So, oh my gosh, Sam, I've got a million other questions, but I think for everybody here, we've given them a nice little bit of an idea of what tarot is and how they can use it. So, specifically for you, I know that you've got an amazing journal for everybody, a tarot journal.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this. And obviously, I'll make sure that the details are in the show notes so they can go and sign up for it.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's a journaling workbook. So it's the starting point for anyone who's interested to work with the cards. So how do I begin? Where do I begin? So it really talks through how to begin your journey with the tarot and the relationship that you're going to be building with these
Yeah.
78 cards, and what each card, how to tune in to what the card means to you. And also, there is a list of tarot card meanings in there as well. So you can start to get a sense of this is what it means to me, this card, which is
Mm.
entirely valid. And then, oh, hey, this is the traditional meaning as well. And just starting to build that relationship up. So that is a free workbook that I'm very happy to give out to anyone who wants to subscribe to my mailing list. And yeah, my mailing list keeps people up to date with the events and workshops and groups and coaching that I do using Madam Rise.
Wonderful. And thank you so much for making that available because I do think, anybody who's curious and interested and open minded into dive into this should definitely go and explore because, again, everything is just energy and we're just using these tools in order to help us discover a little bit more about ourselves. So thank you so much for making that available. So, for those of you listening, of course, you can go and download that free journaling workbook from Sam. The details will be in the chat. And then I would also suggest if you want to know a little bit more, go and connect with Sam via his social media, via her website. And if you're very, very curious, maybe just go and have a chat with her. If you're a coach and a therapist and this has piqued your curiosity and you wanted to see how you can possibly use this, not just for yourself, but also maybe for your clients, why don't you go and have a conversation with Sam and see how she can support you? Because as you said, obviously this also counts towards your CPD. So another bonus there for you all. Sam, thank you so much. This has been so wonderful and so elating. Actually, just talking to you, I'm feeling a little bit like, woohoo, full of energy. So that was just wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's been lovely to see you, Henriette.
You too. We'll be in touch again very soon.
Yeah, go well with your balance and your harmony.
Oh, I will. I will. Thank you so much.